It was low-scoring, and anything but a classic as Jay Ajayi's first outing at Wembley ended in disappointment for the impotent Miami Dolphins, who surrendered in a 20-0 loss to the New Orleans Saints. Dolphins head coach Adam Gase and his players were at a loss to explain how Miami have mustered just 6 points in their last 2 games as poor offensive line play limited Ajayi to just 46 rushing yards. Ajayi, who was listed as questionable during the week due to a knee injury, looked furious after the game, but answered questions manfully. In 3 games we haven't scored enough points.We need to have some pride in ourselves and have some respect for ourselves and put some points on the board, he said. Everyone needs to be held accountable on our offense because we're not doing what we need to do and we need to figure it out, he said. With faulty headsets seeing both teams without communications for the first quarter, the Saints' victory owed as much to the ineptitude of Jay Cutler's offense as it did future Hall of Famer Drew Brees. Both quarterbacks had won at Wembley before, Brees with the Saints in 2008 and Cutler with the Bears in 2011, but it was Brees who marched his team up the field when it mattered. He threw for 268 yards and 2 touchdowns to standout receiver Michael Thomas and promising rookie tailback Alvin Kamara as New Orleans sealed back-to-back wins. Before the game, protests against police brutality continued with 3 Dolphins players, Michael Thomas, Julius Thomas and Kenny Stills, kneeling during the American national anthem. Saints players kneel before the Star-Spangled Banner, but stood in linked arms during it. The opening drive was a microcosm of Cutler's career.The Dolphins marched to the 3-yard line after connecting with Parker, Stills, and Landry. A 15-yard run down the gut from Ajayi put the Dolphins in New Orleans territory. So far so good.More so after tight end Thomas threatened to break the plane after reeling in a 23-yard pass to pitch the Dolphins on the 4-yard line. But the veteran quarterback, who can be lackadaisical at the best of times, was intercepted by second-year cornerback Ken Crawley. In reply, Brees did what Brees does best, marching the Saints into the red zone.But the drive stalled after rookie quarterback Cordrea Tankersley almost intercepted Brees. But the drive stalled after a holding penalty on Zach Strief and Will Lutz missed a 43-yard field goal attempt wide right. The Dolphins seemed to be able to read Brees' mind at will.He was not helped by a raft of dropped catches from his receiving corps.But the Dolphins were struggling too. Prior to the game, the NFL shut down the coach-player communication system as frequency issues made Miami's system inoperable. To make things fair, communication systems for both teams were cut for the first quarter. This is not the first time this has happened at Wembley, the Buffalo Bills suffering faulty headsets which prevented communication between quarterback Edge Manuel and offensive coordinator Greg Roman in 2015. A game almost devoid of notable activity was meandering its way to becoming the first scoreless first half in the NFL since the Chicago Bears traveled to the Denver Broncos in December 2011. But Lutz made amends for his earlier miss, nailing a 43-yard field goal as time dwindled away to give the Saints a 3-0 lead. That increased after the break with Michael Thomas evaded Tankersley's weak attempt at a tackle and reeled in a 4-yard touchdown pass. Briefly, the Wembley crowd broke into a "Who dat?" chant. That was about as exciting as it got. Lutz made it 13-0 in the fourth quarter with another 45-yard field goal, and rookie Kamara scored the game's second touchdown, catching a 12-yard touchdown pass from Brees. Prior to the game, Payton said he would only be using 2 running backs a game. That meant a reduced role for future Hall of Famer Adrian Peterson, already frustrated with his lack of carries in New Orleans. As struggles on the ground persisted for New Orleans against a stout Dolphins run defense, you wonder how long Peterson will stay in the Big Easy. He ended the day on 4 yards from as many carries.The Saints move into a bind boy and mood. They are 2-2. Brees has still not been intercepted, and they can regroup before hosting the Detroit Lions on October 15. For the Dolphins, there must be genuine concern. After being humbled by the New York Jets last week, they have a meager 2 touchdowns this season. Without a bye next week, they host the Tennessee Titans, their first home game of 2017, after seeing their opener against Tampa Bay postponed due to Hurricane Irma. True, they bounced back from 1-4 to reach the playoffs last year, but